Get
All right,
my drink here and
we're live on Facebook, everyone. So
Hello.
if you just joined us, my name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I have Katie and Rene Ferguson on the call with us. And we're going to be talking about a couple of things today.
Yeah. So we've got USA, Canada, and Australia on the call.
We're represented from across the world.
Yeah.
So, it's a couple minutes before the hour, but let's just get started because it's being recorded and I'll send this video out to everyone. I want to thank everybody for taking time to be here. I know it's a Friday night here in the United States and Canada. It's a Friday night, and you could be out doing other things. It's Black Friday, actually, Katie. It's Black Friday. They call it Black Friday because all of the stores have these huge sales today. These huge sales, and so I know people like my sister. She used to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get to these stores, and she'd sit outside and wait for them to open so she could get the special deals. And the store might have, like, let's say, I'm just going to make something up, but they might have, like, say 10 computers that they're going to sell for $100. They might sell $10,000 computers for $100, and you got a line half-mile long for people waiting to be the first one to get into that store. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but you don't need to do that anymore because all those Black Friday specials are happening online now. I just bought some video editing software. It's normally $1,000 US a year, and they sold it for 130 lifetime membership.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's lots of specials online.
Yeah.
And we have
so
special too.
but that's why it's Black Friday, and so my mom and I were talking. My mom is 83 years old, and she was saying that only twice in her life did she go shopping on Black Friday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And one time we were at my brother's house in Minneapolis, and so we all went to the Mall of America. If you've ever heard of the Mall of America over there.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
It's a huge shopping mall in Minneapolis. Yes. Yeah. And we went shopping there on Black Friday, and we happened to we pulled in the one of the local Minneapolis Star Tribune reporters pulled up alongside of us and started asking us questions. What in the hell? Why would you guys go shopping on Black Friday?
Yeah.
And I said, it wasn't my choice. I hate shopping.
So while we just quickly mention the special still running for this month, is it the collagen? I was just looking it up while you were talking. The collagen special? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Share a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I was just trying to bring up the details here. So just before I do that, Sisel released the new cream for men. Do you want to tell us about that, Kurt?
Well, a year ago we lost one of our founders, Tom Sr.
Yeah.
And fall was Tom's favorite time of the year. And so in tribute to Tom, they came out with a new skincare lotion. I suppose it would be primarily for men, geared primarily for men, but some outdoorsy women might like it too. But it has the smells of the outdoors in autumn, trees and outdoorsy and yeah.
Okay, so that'd be a good one for the men, and that'd be a good one as a Christmas present or as a present for men. And so the promo is still running this month, which is the Beauty Body Brain. So you get 2 bags of the collagen, fucoidan, Sisel coffee, renovator, and a free bottle of CBD valued at 150 USD. So that is a really good pack to purchase. So that's still running, and you've got 3-4 more days.
You bet. And I always take note of what they're running for specials, because some of those products are some of the stuff that I keep in my I always want to keep extra just in case they run out. I don't want to run out, like Brain Vitality and now the collagen. I don't want to ever run out of the collagen. The Sisel Sport, the just these products, Sizzle Thin, I don't want to ever run out of them because I find that they really help me. And so I keep a couple months on hand, and then there's always going to be friends of mine and family that are going to say, hey, do you have some of this? My brother just asked me this weekend. He said, do you have any of that fire and iced tea? He said, I never got any ordered once they ran out. and I said, oh yeah, I got some on hand. So I was able to provide him with that. But,
Fantastic.
so
All right.
it's the top of the hour, a couple minutes past, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you're joining us on Facebook, leave a comment. If you're, a thumbs up, things like that. Share this with people and let them know that there's a viable business here, and so that's what I really want to talk about tonight. And I know Katie wanted to talk about products. You're kind of a producty person, but bottom line is when you look at network marketing as a whole, when you look at network marketing, there's going to be your business builders. They're going to go out and they're going to find your product takers. So they're going to find the people like Katie who want to build her business with products. And that's great. We have some of the best products in the world. Toxin free. I mean, our company Sisel has been the leader in toxin free products for how many years now? 15 years, almost 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and before that, Tom's old company. So since the 80s, the Mauers have been the leaders in toxin free products, and all of a sudden now we're starting to see a lot of this stuff going mainstream. Like
Yeah.
I was just watching TV at my mom and dad's, I was there for the holiday, and Sunday morning on one of the major, I think it's CBS, on one of the major news stations, they're going to be talking about anti-aging. They're going to have an hour-long segment on anti-aging. So anti-aging isn't just, kind of the cliche, the click people that just, it's all of a sudden it's the mainstream.
Yeah.
It's the mainstream. But so I brought Rene on. Rene and I used to do a talk on the compensation plan. So I asked Rene to jump back on with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about not so much the compensation plan, because I don't want to go over detail on that. That's Milo's job. Milo from corporate does an excellent job of covering the compensation plan, all 8 profit centers that we have. Basically, what I wanted to talk about today was how do you get started on the right foot? How do you get started on the right foot? And how do you generate an extra $1,000 a month in income? Because if you can generate $1,000 a month in income, I'm telling you, you can generate as much money as you want to generate. So think of it like, I'm going to show you today how to build the building block to your commission, right? And so I always tell people, and Rene and Katie, jump in if you want to add anything to it. But here's what I'm going to say, is that if you're just getting started in Sisel, or if you joined a while back and you didn't join right, you didn't join properly, right, whatever, but you got to come in with the attitude that you're not going to be a minimizer.
Exactly.
You're not going to be a minimizer. You're going to come in and you're going to build your business correctly. And so I always tell people, if I'm going and applying for a job at the local clinic, and they say, well, if you get started like this, we'll give you $20 an hour. If you get started like this, we're going to give you $10 an hour. And I'm going to go, well, what do I need to do to get paid the $20 an hour? And so the wealth builder is the way to get started. And what you want to do is you come in, you buy a $300, a 300 PV. It's not $300, it's 300 PV pack. And it varies a little bit more or less, but 300 PV, and you get started with that. That opens up all the doors to the compensation plan forever. You never have to go back. In fact, you can't buy that pack more than once. You can only buy it once.
I can say something there just quickly. If you buy one product to get started, you're going to attract other people that buy one product.
Right.
And so, people do what you do, not what you say. And so that is an important part of it. Plus, the packs offer excellent value for money. And as you mentioned, you only get them once. And even if you got the A.G.E 7-pack, you get each bottle at a really heavily discounted price. So those packs are great. So yeah, definitely anyone getting started, it's worth that investment in their health and, business as well.
Right. So you see, here's what I'm saying though, Katie, you know how you just went right away to the value of the products. You build your business based on products.
Yeah.
Right. And that's great. But you gotta think about, if you're building the business on product, all of a sudden we have tough economic times. What do people do? They start cutting back. Well, I think I can get by with only taking a half a dose of that per day rather than a full dose. And all of a sudden they're not taking their full product. And all of a sudden your business volume starts to go down. Where if you have a business builder, and I talk to business builders every single day. I know both of you do as well. And you talk to business builders, they're trying to come up, well, how do I take and get my volume back up? My volume dropped because some of my product takers started to come back, cut down on the number of products that they were taking. The business builders are looking at, how do I do this? The product takers are looking at, how do I cut back so that I can make it work? And you're talking about minimizers, Katie, buying one product, getting started with one product. And so if you buy one product and you get started that way, and you attract other people that are going to do that. What I try and tell people, and if you go back and watch my videos that I've done, my training videos on how to use the compensation plan, I say, get started with the Wealth Builder Pack, 300 PV, and at every single month, purchase 300 PV in product. 300 PV. If you're a business builder, if you're not purchasing 300 PV in product, you have to ask yourself, are you really a business builder, or are you somewhat more of a minimizer? Right? And Rene, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on the difference between a minimizer? If somebody's buying 50 PV, how much commission? And again, we're not going to look at the bonuses today. We're just going to look at the commission, the 7% commission.
Yeah.
If someone is buying $50 in product, 50 PV versus 300 PV, what's the difference in commission?
Well, I haven't got my calculator with me, but 7%. Like if they're not building the business, and there is so much opportunity with this company, like I've never seen before with another company, for leverage. And if they I question whether everybody understands leverage or whether they're doing it. Because if they're buying 50 PV of product a month, they're in the wrong position. They should be a customer, because they're sure not building the business. And again, people that they attract are going to do as they have done. And like every fourth month, you're going to get 8% of all your orders. Well, if you're doing that, the 300 that you talk about, you're going to get what, $120 towards free product every fourth month. And then annually, you're going to get all your shipping back. Plus, do people not realize that they pay too much income tax, and all your products you're basically getting for free right out of the gate, because they're 100% business write-off as the cost of doing business. So I struggle with what they're not seeing.
Yep. So when we're looking at, and I appreciate your comments on that, because I know you and I talk about comp plan quite a bit. When we're looking at this comp plan, I'm going to go over this really quickly. Okay. Because I know Katie wants me to keep it down to, just another 5 or 6 minutes, and I have to be done. She's going to gong me, like in the Gong Show. But so when we're looking at this, bottom line is this. Okay. You're a business builder. You come in as a wealth builder. You go out and find 3 other business builders. They all come in with their 300 PV packs, and with that, now you're going to help them each go out, because they're business builders. So you found 3, and the whole idea is you're going to help them find 3. And you can build this business by finding 3 business builders. You know,
Yeah.
I have 3 strong legs. Sure, I have 5 or 6 other legs that I'm building at the same time, but I have 3 primary strong legs. Katie, wouldn't you say the same thing? You're building multiple legs, but don't you have 3 primary strong legs?
Yeah.
Rene, wouldn't you say that if you built 3 strong legs, you could make your check as big as you want it to be with 3 strong legs, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to, it's like they say, how do you eat an elephant in this business? It's a common sort of phrase, you know, one bite at a time. So don't look at the entire comp plan and what you got to do down here. Just as you say, start, you know, one step at a time and get those 3 in. And we're always here to help with
That's right.
Zoom calls, phone calls, you know, whatever, to answer any questions. So people
Yep.
aren't out there on their own.
That's right. And so tonight I want to talk about how do you generate that building block? How do you, and sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Randy. I'm just trying to watch the time that Katie's allotted me. And so, but so if I take and I build 3 people and 3 people each go out and get 300 PV, and I'm not gonna get into the difference between PV and CV and things like that. Let's just say that you get paid on 100% of PV, and it varies just a little bit, but 300 PV on 3 people, you get paid 7%. So bottom line is you're going to make $21 per person, 7% of 300 PV. So you're going to make $21. So your 3 people, you're not going to make a lot of money. You're going to make about, what is that? $63. Woohoo! Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to town. I'm going to be a wealthy man. I made $63. No. Right? Because you're also spending 300. So you're really not making 300. You're $63 because you spent 300 yourself. But you brought in 3 business builders, and you're going to help them go out and find their 3. And now what they're going to do is when they find their 3, now you have 9 more people in your organization. So 9 people times 300 times 7% is you know, that's another $630. $630. So the 630 plus the 63. So now you're at $700, right? $800. I don't know if I'm doing the math right. I'm doing it in my head. I did it earlier today. I'm just trying to remember what I wrote down. But you're somewhere around $800 in check. That's how much your check is. You found 3 people, and you helped those 3 people find 3 people. That's what you did. That's all you did. You found 3 people. And if you take a look, Eric Worre says it, doesn't he, Katie, that the average person can find 2 or 3 people without even thinking about it. They can find 2 or 3 business builders without even thinking about it. So you go out, find 3, you help those 3 go out and find 3. All of a sudden you're getting a check for, you know, between $600, $800, somewhere in there. So now what you do is I tell people, now you go out and you find 3 customers. And you get those 3 customers to each buy a couple $100s worth of product, which is easy to do in the product line. I mean, Katie's going to share a little bit about the age fill. We're going to talk about the age fill when we get done talking about what we're talking about here. What if you just got people just taking the basic products, and you got them taking the basic product and they're substituting, instead of using that toxic toothpaste, they're using good toothpaste. Instead of using the collagen that they bought at the dollar store, they're using the collagen that they're getting from us. I mean, and instead of using the toxic shampoo that they bought at the dollar store, they're using the good shampoo, and they're substituting that in. And all of a sudden, so you have 3 people that you brought in as a business builder. You helped those 3 each find 3. And now you went out and you found 3 customers, and you helped your 3 business builders each find 3 customers. So that's all you've done. That's all you've built. That's the building block. There's your $1,000 a month. Who couldn't do that?
Yeah.
Who couldn't do that? And I don't have to know any science about any product to do that. All I have to do is just say, if these products work the way that Katie tells us that they do, and she's a product person. She loves the science. I mean, every day Katie calls me. Randy, did you know this? Katie calls me every day and she talks about science. Is she a scientist? No. But she wants to know about the science because she is so into the product. She's so into the science.
Yeah.
You know,
they're the best products on the planet.
But don't be scared if you're not a scientist. Don't be scared if you're not a product-y type of person. The products work. Honestly, these products work. These products work. I can send you hundreds of testimonials to show that these products work. So if the products work exactly the way that I'm telling you, exactly the way that Katie tells you, exactly the way that Rene tells you, exactly the way that Carmel or Marilyn or Joseph tells you, that Michael tells you how they work, I'm telling you, you can build a business. You need to find 3 people.
Yeah.
You need to help them find 3 people. You need to find 3 customers. You need to help your people find 3 customers. That's all you got to do. There's your $1,000 a month. And I'm telling you, if you can learn that, because now you take those 3 that you started who found 3 and you help their 3 do the exact same thing. You get paid 7% on those people. Now you help those 3 because they're business builders as well. They want to know what we're talking about. You help them find their 3, and you help them find their 3, and you help them find their 3. You get paid 7%, level after level after level after level. All of a sudden, that $1,000 a month turns into $2,000, turns into $3,000. And if you look at it, why is it called a pyramid? Why do people say that this is a pyramid? Well, because it's shaped like this. It's shaped like this. It's shaped like a pyramid.
It doesn't even have to, like, it goes off in a tangent too. It doesn't necessarily shape into a pyramid shape. You could have someone here and then, you know, they've only got 2 and then, you know, it's not in a direct in a triangle.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, Rene, Katie and Rene. The person that brought me in to Sisel left. I've enrolled over 500 people personally into Sisel. The person that brought me in left and went to another company because he saw a shiny object over there, and he was chasing that. He wanted to drive. He wanted to drive the new hot car instead of sticking with old Betsy that could still get you to the grocery store every single day. He went chasing that new shiny product, and he left here. And I brought in over 500 people consistently. I've stayed here. Think about that. So I moved upline. I rolled up to Tom Senior. Tom Senior was my enroller because my guy left. I have no upline. Sisel is my upline. And I try and explain that to people, that think about that. If you go out and build this business and the person that enrolled you leaves, you roll upline. You roll upline to somebody, and you know, people are always chasing the objects, you know. So anyhow, Katie, I took 20 minutes exactly. Actually less than that because we got started 3 minutes late.
Okay, great. So I just need, I can share the screen here. Hang on, let's see. Where are we?
While she's sharing the screen, think about that, people. You know, find 3 people who want to go out and make an extra $1,000 a month.
And it doesn't have to be your best friend. I think a lot of people make the mistake thinking their friends are going to make them a millionaire, and then their friends don't see it. Like, go out beyond, build your circle of contacts, and attract the people as well. Be a product of the product.
Yeah, product of the product.
Definitely. All right. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the age pill, and I'm going to keep to the time too, Kurt. So no more than 20 minutes. This is really our flagship product, the age pill. This is a one-of-a-kind product that gets fantastic results. People always come back to buy more. And I absolutely love this product so much that I even allocate some for my dog. So if you're on the call and you're using the product, you haven't been giving it to your dog. I'm not a vet, so I can't say that, but I give it to my dog. I think it's a great idea. And you can see, you know, as my friend previously said, dogs don't lie. And you can see a result in the dog based on its, behavior and its overall health. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But before I get started, I just also want to say that none of the information today shared on the age pill is designed to prevent, cure, or treat any disease or illness. We're not making any medical claims, and you should check with your doctor before taking supplements. The information in this presentation is for educational purposes only. Please do your own research and consult your healthcare provider. So we always have to do that disclaimer there. Whoops. So just putting that out there. So this slide here, I just wanted to show you were talking about anti-aging before, Kurt, and it's becoming mainstream. And people may not realize that you actually start aging mostly around your mid-20s. As you can see here, this is a slide from Wikipedia, and it just shows that you have cognitive decline actually starts in your mid-20s. You even start to lose your hearing frequency at high frequency sounds when you're younger than that. But of course, we start to notice that you actually start to develop wrinkles, and muscle mass starts to decline, starts on a downward hill at the age of 30. So things start declining. Why is this? It's because the body is wearing out. There's more wear and tear on the body that's happening faster than your body can repair itself. And so I guess this really highlights that actually occurring. And a lot of people don't think about that, do they, Kurt? They don't realize that at a certain age they start aging. I mean, we're all slowly, I guess, decaying away, as Tom Senior used to say. And so what we want to do is we want to stop that decay and help restore, I guess, health to our body in the form of nutrients, as well as removing the toxins and slowing that decay. So our body is self-cleansing and it continues to decline, which we've just touched on. And the older you get, the less ability you have for your cells to self-cleanse. I was talking to a friend last night who gives the products to their parent. He got fantastic results. He was on the A.G.E pill and he was on the triangle and he was taking collagen, and a lot of his aches and pains disappeared and he was just feeling great. And then he just stopped taking it and all the aches and pains came back. And she was trying to explain to him, no, it's not something you can just stop taking. Like, your body's still in decline and you need to give it everything that you can to support it, which is why it needs to be ongoing if you want the ongoing benefits. So he was getting back on them, I think, last night. But our cells, no self-cleansing of cells, no life span extension. So we really need our cells to be able to clean and detox. And this is where the A.G.E pill comes in to this discussion, which I'll touch on in the next couple of slides. And much of the material that's composed, which is the waste product, is lipofuscin and advanced glycation end products. And these are toxic waste byproducts of aging, which everybody experiences. So we want to do what we can to get rid of those. So this is also touching on NAD. So NAD, a nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, if I pronounced it correctly, Kurt. It's a coenzyme which is used by all living cells. It's essential to life. And if you didn't have any NAD in your body, I think you've said before, Kurt, you'd be dead in 7 seconds if you took all the NAD out of your body, something like this.
7 seconds, but sevens.
Yeah, in a very short period of time. Yeah, so it's been scientifically proven in animal studies, NAD being to protect against DNA and cellular damage. And it's a key driver in age-related disease, NAD. So this is an interesting topic. NAD is also life-sustaining, and it has lots of benefits to the overall body, including all the things that you can see here on the screen: energy, sirtuin genes, brain health, immune. So, it goes through all these things. So it's really a key element in overall health. And the A.G.E pill has ingredients that supports the body to increase the NAD levels. And when you increase the NAD in your body, you're increasing cellular energy. So, one of the first things people notice when they take the A.G.E pill is they feel like they've got more energy. And I really noticed it because I've suffered from back pain a lot of my life, and because I've got one leg shorter than the other, which I was born with. And, when I started taking this product, I really noticed an improvement in energy and particularly mood as well, which is really important. So how we feel, is such a key part of life. So this diagram here shows that NAD levels decline with age. So you can see that as we get older, the levels start to decline. And this was just measured in human skin. And it's just a downward slope, really. So if we can do something to boost those levels and support our body, then why wouldn't you want to do that? I just think it really makes sense, doesn't it? So here we've got why we lose NAD. So the decline speeds up, which we've touched on. So everything that we do in our life, when we drink too much or if we stay in the sun too long, we're not getting enough sleep, all of these things further accelerate the inevitable decline of NAD in our body. And when we talked about lipofuscin and glycation, so it's all the cellular sludge in and around our cells, which of course this picture is not our cells, but just to give you a visual to think about cellular waste. So we think about waste, you know, when we go to the toilet, but we're also accumulating waste products around our cells internally within our body. And we really need to help our body in any way we can to remove that waste. So the A.G.E pill has ingredients that support the body to remove advanced glycation end products. And the A.G.E pill itself stands for Advanced Glycation Extreme, A.G.E. So that's how the name was developed. So we've talked about the benefits of NAD. Now we're talking about the effects of A.G.Es on the body and how they're quite detrimental. So A.G.Es, as they build up in our body, they contribute to inflammation. They can contribute to all sorts of diseases developing in the body and cause free radical damage. So they do have a big impact on the body. So they can also wreak havoc with your tendons and your bones and cartilage. And we get a lot of A.G.Es from our food as well. So when you're cooking your food, if you eat a lot of roast dinners, pan-fried, crispy food, if you're anything that's browning or bronzing food increases the amount of A.G.Es in your diet, which contributes, this substance or this byproduct contributes to inflammation in your body and DNA damage, oxidative stress, free radical damage. So in addition to, and here's a tip for everyone watching, in addition to taking the A.G.E pill to support your body, you can also modify your diet. And after I learned this information, well, I modified my diet a lot. I actually don't fry food or bronze or hardly even bake. I do mostly steaming, boiling, and blanchings, because if you cook food and you keep all the water content in it and you stop it from browning or bronzing, then you're reducing the amount of A.G.Es you're having on a daily basis. And this is really good too, especially if you're someone that's listening to this call and you suffer from inflammation, you've got general aches and pains, or you've got an inflammatory response in the body, which a lot of most people do. The older they get, it gets worse. So these are the things that you can be doing from a diet perspective, is to be changing the way you're actually cooking food. So blanching, boiling, and steaming, because you're keeping all the water content in the food. So I think that was kind of really useful little tip there for people. This is a picture I found really interesting. I just threw this into the presentation. Can anyone guess what this picture is? Kurt, do you know what it is?
Macaroni. Macaroni.
Yeah. Rene, do you know what it is?
Well, I'm going to say that it's what our vessels or not our tendons, but it's something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The first part was right. Whereabouts in the body do you think this is from?
Oh gosh. Well, I know that A.G.Es, they wreak havoc with your tendons, your cartilage, your bones. So
well,
would it be the tendons?
No, these are actually the arteries inside.
I didn't think of the word.
Cross-section of arteries inside the brain. So when you think of the arteries in your body, you've got arteries going to your heart, and people think about heart disease and those arteries getting blocked. But if the arteries are getting blocked in the heart, the likelihood they're also getting blocked in the brain as well. And the bottom picture is actually a cross-section of the brain with they're all little arteries in the brain. And the bottom picture is from an Alzheimer's patient. And the top picture, they're both elderly patients that obviously have died. And the top picture is a person that didn't have any brain memory issues. Their brain was functioning quite well. And you can see that the arteries in the top picture are quite open. There's going to be easy blood flow going through those arteries. And that's going to enable them to think clearly, because they're getting plenty of blood and oxygen into their brain. Whereas the bottom picture is a picture, as you can see, we've nearly got a complete closure. Let me just move this out of the way here so we can see. You've got nearly a complete closure on some of those, particularly the bottom right and the 1, 2 up from that, is completely blocked. And if that's in your brain and the blood's not flowing through, well, then how are you going to actually think? Okay, you're not going to be able to think. You're not going to be able to remember anything. And this is a picture of a patient with Alzheimer's. And I talk about this a lot because my dad developed Alzheimer's at the age of 54 and passed away at the age of 61, 2. So it was quite quick. But so I'm sure that his brain probably would have looked like the bottom one. And now the reason I talk about this, and again, we cannot make claims with our products. I'm not saying that we can treat, cure, or prevent with any of our products, but what we want to understand is that glycation and lipofuscin, so these waste products, also make up these blockages, okay? So we want to do anything that we can to remove this cellular waste inside our body. And of course, there's other things, your diet and lifestyle is going to play a big factor in this happening, and I'm not going to get into that today. But so we want to remove cellular waste and do anything we can to support that. And I just thought that's quite a shocking picture to me. And I think you'll probably be thinking about it after we finish the call later today or tonight. So, you know, ask yourself, what can you do to keep your brain and your arteries like the top picture? Also, A.G.E's damaged the eyes. So they actually build up in the back of the eyes, and they can cause, you know, obviously impact your eyesight. And this happens a lot with people with diabetes. So these are a little bit too scientific, but anyway, yeah, so we've got the glycation process. I'll skip over that one. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea there. And the Age pill has ingredients that support, oops, I've gone past one. The Age pill has ingredients that supports the removal of lipofuscin as well as glycation in the body. So lipofuscin cannot be broken down by natural processes. It continues to accumulate with age. The older you get, the more you have. And this comes back to that story. Why did her father experience all the benefits disappear after he stopped? Is because his body's aging and it needs that support. Lipofuscin is a name given to the fine brown pigment granules composed of lipid-containing residues of lysosomal digestion. It's considered to be the aging or wear and tear pigment found in the liver, kidney, heart, muscle, retina, adrenals, nerve cells, ganglion cells. So it basically forms everywhere. And you can see a picture here, what it looks like. Here is another picture. So this person's a 54-year-old versus a 76. So you can see that the 76-year-old has a lot more than the 54-year-old there because, again, they're older and they've got more years of life lived and it's accumulating. So we need more support as we age. Like, we can get away with stuff when we're young. The older we get and how we've lived our life is going to impact our overall health. So I guess this really displays that. Now, if you want to see it from the visual perspective on the outside, you can see the lady's hands. These are the lipofuscin spots, you know, forming on the back of the hands, the brown spots. So, you know, it's really important that you want to be looking after your health, eating right, and, you know, taking some nutritional support where there's inadequacies and anything that you can do to support that. So this is why I love this product, because a lot of people have said to me and noticed that when they start taking it, they've noticed a reduction in the brown spots on their hand. And again, we can see it here. So you can see what it looks like under the microscope on the left and then on the right-hand side. So lipofuscin, and this is all about lipofuscin. So this is another ingredient that the Age pill goes to work and supports the body to remove that. And lipofuscin forms in the heart as well. So this is the heart and the muscles of the heart, and you can see the spots forming in there as well. So if you could take some nutritional ingredients that support your body to help remove this out of your body, this waste, this age, wear and tear substance, then why wouldn't you want to do it? I mean, it just makes sense to me. I think you really need to do it. And we're nearly here at the end, and I wanted to throw in a few testimonials. I'm not sure if Leanne's on the call today, but, you know, Leanne's brother was really kind to allow us to use this photo. And I mean, it's just such an extraordinary testimonial. Leanne's brother is a type 2 diabetic, or type 1 diabetic rather. And, you know, we talked about glycation earlier. So glycation also forms, you know, as a result of the proteins and sugars combining. And a diabetic has, you know, is more inclined to suffer from more glycation than the average person. And the first place you're going to see it is in the skin. And if you look at the before and after photo, I mean, my God, he looks like 15 years younger. Look how much it's improved his skin. That product's gone to work and supported his body to remove that glycation, that cellular waste that's been building up in his skin, and his skin and face just looks beautiful. He says that, after 5 months of taking it, he noticed reduction of a visual reduction of fine lines and eye bags. He noticed his memory felt sharper, and overall was really happy with the results. He was taking also the Sisel and Eternity and Spectrum Max in conjunction. And so he's just really happy with that outcome. And this is just a beautiful example of how nutritional support can make a big difference to your body and really why we need it. I've got a couple more here testimonials. This one I really love. This was from a customer that was in Vietnam. And I mean, I haven't got many words around here, but obviously he was quite unwell and lacking energy, probably suffering from lack of NAD due to the person's age, although we don't know how old they are. But they put a saying, and I translated it because it was in Vietnamese, but they put back from the dead. So that pretty much says it all, and I probably don't need to say much more, but obviously it made a big difference to this person's life. And another one here, we've got a great one showing skin improvements. Okay, she's frowning a little bit, but you can see that a lot of the fine lines, just skin overall looks fantastic. And she was taking the 12 a day. So she was doing a double dose. So if you're watching this and you're taking 6 a day and you really want to get an extra boost, I personally take 12, and you can notice a big difference from moving to 6 to 12 now. And we need to recommend following the instructions on the bottle, but the difference between 6 and 12 is quite dramatic. So there's something considered. Do you want to say anything about that there, Kurt, about the dosage?
Yeah, I was just gonna say amazing. Look, you look at Anthony's skin and now you look at her skin. I mean, it doesn't even look like the same person. I mean, they don't look like the same people from before and after. And the difference is that some people have so much glycation, they have so much lipofuscin in their body that you take the normal recommended dose. Remember, that's the normal recommended dose for somebody who's just kind of I'm going to say maintaining, but when you have lots of lipofuscin, when you have lots of glycation, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And I have some people that have to take, I have people who take 18 a day, Katie.
Wow.
A triple dose.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes a big difference. And that's, I really love this product. And in closing, because I wanted to keep to my time too, we really can build a business with this product. It is quite life-changing, and people do need to take it properly. If they just, I've had people, I didn't do much. Well, how many were you taking? Oh, 2. They were taking 2 a day. So it's not going to work if you don't follow the instructions. So it's really important to support someone when they start this product and instruct them on how to take it and explain to them why. And it's really good to give them a bit of information so they know and understand a little bit of the science behind it, because if they understand how it works and why, it's beneficial to them, it's probably going to work better for them.
I'm going to throw this in there, Katie, because a lot of people hate science and they don't. Yeah. That's what scares them from coming on board with Sisel, because I've had people tell me, oh, you got to learn all that science. Here's what I'm going to say.
Show them.
And I'm going to say, watch this video.
Yes.
Yes.
Share the 20 minutes that Katie just shared, and you say to people, hey, Rene, what if it does exactly what Katie just said? Do you think that you want to be on this product?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you think you could find 3 people who would want to go out and make an extra $1,000 a month while taking this product? And do you think you could find another 3 who just want to simply take the product and they don't want to bother building business? Could you do that? Find 3 and 3.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is becoming, I mean, you can't help but become so passionate about these products because they absolutely work. And as you said earlier about the times getting tough, like where we are right now in the world and everything else. Well, what are you going to do? Quit shampooing your hair or go back to the garbage shampoo, just like brushing your teeth? Like really that's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
So it's just, and it doesn't happen overnight. let's face it,
You-
we've all had.
you-
come and go, but
You,
just
you
keep on
can
going.
build a business, build a business. All you got to do is listen to Katie tell you that story. Watch those two or three testimonials that Katie just shared with us, and you just say, Rene, do you want a piece of that action?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. So on that note, I'm going to go and take some more H pill.
I need
All
to
right.
take mine as well. It's that time of day.
All right.
Good night. Share
Thank
this
you.
with people. Build this business. I'm telling you, build this business. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to end this. We're going to say, look, we're going to do this every week. Katie, Rene, are you going to, I mean, if at all possible, you're going to be with me every week, 6 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Melbourne time. Let's do this once a week. Let's do a little bit. I'm going to share the exact same thing that I just shared. You guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about how to make $1,000 a month. That's all I'm going to talk about.
Yep.
And then you guys can do a product story with some testimonials. And let's do this every single week, Friday nights,
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
mornings in Australia.
The science just fascinates me about these products because they're the best in the world.
They're the best.
Yep, great. All right.
All right.
Well, everyone have a great day.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.